Slayer.
Hey guys, it's DJ Segue here, and we got a lot of announcements coming up after the Microsoft E3 convention. And first things we're going to talk about is the Halo 4, a new Splinter Cell announcement, a new Gears of War is confirmed, and we got the protagonist even announced. We got Forza Horizon, including a release date. We also have Xbox Smart Glass, which is a little app that I guess they're going to be integrating between your phones, your iPads, and everything that will integrate with your Xbox. We got little Tomb Raider announcements as well. We got Resident Evil, little info as well. Racketeer, which is I guess like Angry Birds knockoff with Microsoft. South Park, The Stick of Truth. And we got the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 announcements. So let's go ahead and get started with the Halo 4. Now, Halo 4 actually started off the show with a live action series, and he eventually went straight into the game. And one of the things that we noticed is we had a new HUD, and it was actually shown during the campaign because that's what was shown. And things we noticed is that Cortana actually shows up on the screen, and I guess later in the video you also see that it actually shows person that is trying to communicate with you actually shows up on the screen as well. Another thing that we notice is that the first people that you come across is Jackal's Grunts and the Elites, and also some new enemies shown in the video. And later on you also see some sort of four-legged animal that attacks you. I'm not quite sure what it is. I guess you can say it's like a type of dog or something like that. It's pretty interesting. And then we have a new flying enemy, which a lot of people are saying that's kind of a deal from Crysis. I never played Crysis, so I'm not quite sure. But when you go ahead and what's shown is if you throw a grenade at it, it actually catches it and throws it back. So that's something that could be interesting when you're caught in a firefight, you don't notice it, and also see a grenade come flying back. And also the new enemy that was shown, not the flying one, but another two-legged one, is that after you kill them, they actually kind of burst into flames and dissolve, which is a little interesting. Not many people are aware of that. What could be caused by that? Can you get hurt if they get too close? That hasn't been explained quite yet, but again, E3 just only began, so there's a lot of news that could still be coming out. So another thing that was announced is a new Splinter Cell, and it's called Blacklist, which has been announced, and it's actually created by Ubisoft again. And one of the things is that when you're hiding behind a cover and you're ready to go and kill somebody, you can actually go ahead and choose your targets in an order. And when you choose to go ahead and go through the action, whenever it goes into a slow-mo deal where it actually shows you aiming at those guys in the order that you chose. Now that kind of reminds me of Red Dead Redemption, where you're able to do I think it was bullet time. I'm not sure. I can't even think of that. I think bullet time was Max Payne. I'm not sure. But you can go into the slow-mo and you can get your guys. The game is shown to be nothing but stealth. It's all throughout the entire video. You just see him hiding behind cover. A person walks over, you're gonna grab him, knife him, and then throw him off. Or it's just a lot of things. It shows stealth is the key factor. Also shows that the Kinect is integrated into the factor. Now, an example that showed was that the guy was hanging on a cliff. There was a guy in front of him, and he actually said to the Kinect, "Hey, over here." The guy responded, turned around, and walked over there. And he wanted him to perform the execution by throwing him off. And I thought that was very interesting. It's neat that they're slowly integrating the Kinect into the other games instead of just a simple you move around with your avatar and that's pretty much it. Another thing that you can also see during the video is that while you're looking for cover, you can actually run through a door into houses in order to use them for cover. Now, I think that's very, very helpful because when you're looking for cover, you're only given certain little areas. Now, if you have the ability to go inside of buildings, that actually helps a lot more. Oh, another thing that you can do is that when you come across a door that you have to go into, and you think there's people behind that door, you are actually able to put a spy cam. I'm not sure what it's really called, and it actually goes under the door, and you can go ahead and spot who's all inside, and that way you're fully aware. Then once you pull the spy cam out, you go ahead and strap not C4 but whatever demolition and blow up the door, and then go in, and it will cue another one of those slow mo kills, and you're gonna go through all that. It also is confirmed that there will be co-op and a Marine versus I can't think of what it is, but it's whatever Sam is. It's like, I guess, a super soldier, I guess you would say. However, a release date was somewhat announced. The only thing that was announced was that the release date would be in the year 2013, which is a little ways away. However, I'm sure a lot of us are kind of anxious for it, and also expecting more news out of it. Next thing I want to talk about is Fable: The Journey. Now, not a lot was shown. It was actually just a simple little small trailer, and all it really showed was a person like waving his hands in the air, and it showed like he was just using magic. So I don't know whether there's actually going to be any action with moving the sword around or anything like that, or is it just going to be pure magic? And a release date was somewhat announced, and it actually is set for the holiday season of 2012. Now, another big news that a lot of people have been anxious about and known leaked footage of the July edition of the Game Informer shows a guy being but being escorted in handcuffs by two COG soldiers, and everybody was thinking that, well, two soldiers, and everybody thought it was the COG, and it actually is confirmed that there is going to be a new Gears game, and it's actually going to be called Gears of War Judgment, and it shows that the Locusts are back. Everything's kind of back, kind of the way it is. I'm thinking it could be a little flashback, and you're actually taking the role into a different character. However, he is one that you have played with before in the other Gears games, and actually the protagonist is Baird. He is back. He is the key character, and on that cover, he is the one that is being escorted by the COG in handcuffs. Now, it's either that he did something that he shouldn't have done, like beforehand. That's probably what got him into working with Marcus. I'm not sure. But it seems very interesting. Not a lot was shown except just small little footage. But it didn't really show any gameplay. So we got a lot of news coming in for that later on. Chances are throughout E3. Another thing that that was announced is Forza actually has another game that's coming out, and it's called Horizon. And it shows that it's day and night racing, and it also shows that you have pro races, and they could variety all the way down to just simple street races. Now, I believe it showed at one point where you're just racing another car one-on-one on a street that actually has vehicles still driving on it. So that could be interesting. I guess that's a little shot towards Need for Speed. I'm not quite sure, but it seems really interesting. And also it shows that you can go off-roading as well, so there's probably off-roading races. And there seems to be shortcuts, because at the very beginning, when it shows the races at the starting, you see two cars racing down the road, and all of a sudden, when it comes into a merger road, you see another car coming in from the other side that is part of the race. So I guess they're going to be integrating more paths, so you can try to sneak up on people through a different way. There was a release date that was announced for that, and it is actually set for October 23rd, 2012. Alright, so another thing that was announced is, just let me find it. Okay, so we got Xbox Smart Glass, and so let me go ahead and just give you the rundown what it is. Basically, what it is that they're integrating where you have like the Android or smartphone in general, you have the like iPad or any kind of tablet, and it can be actually used for your Xbox. Now, what it is that, you could be sitting there on your, say, iPad and watching a video, but you want to put it on, want your Xbox to show it. You just go ahead and basically, like, I guess, swipe it, kind of like how the Wii Pad, like they're explaining, like you swipe it towards the screen and it plays. It's like you swipe it, I guess, to the Xbox, and it just go ahead and uploads and plays exactly from where you are. So the example they uses was the, I believe, Sherlock Holmes movie, and like they had a little small clip on the tablet, and then all of a sudden, like, I guess they swiped it, and it started playing on the Xbox at that exact same point that he stopped the video on the tablet. Now, it would be varying from the smartphone, tablet, I'm guessing iPod as well, anything that can work. Everything, like I said, everything is integrated, and also it's actually been proven that it can be used for multiple games. They only listed 2. I'm sure there's going to be more down the road. The 2 that they listed was Madden. Now, the deal for Madden is that you can actually choose to play calls while you're actually playing the game. So you could be playing the game and on your tablet, and the tablet still connects with the game. Now, an example they showed is that while you're making the play call and you see a person going on a route you don't like, you can delete that route and you can draw your own, and that person will go that path. And I thought that was pretty interesting. The other game that they announced was Halo 4 that will be allowed into it. Now, they didn't show it as a really gameplay deal. However, what they showed was that Chief looking at an opening, and then he sees a downed UNSC ship, and they going ahead, and Chief's looking around, and then once he aimed at the UNSC ship, it showed up saying you got a beacon, and all of a sudden when you look at the tablet, it now says you have a beacon. You're going to click on it, opens up Halo Waypoint, and it plays the video of that UNSC ship, giving you the info about it or something along those lines. So those 2 will be integrated into that. Also, it says that the Internet Explorer will be coming to the Xbox, so I don't know exactly how much you'd be able to do about it, whether it's going to be compared to the internet access that your PlayStation 3 has. However, it's not a lot of detail that was really given into it. It was just more that they just rambled about Internet Explorer being on the Xbox. Windows 8 is mentioned to have the Xbox integration, meaning that you'd be able to play the Xbox arcade games on your PC and still make the achievements and get gamer score, and be able to purchase games with your Microsoft points all to your PC rather than your Xbox. Another thing that was mentioned was Tomb Raider. Now, there wasn't really a whole lot that was explained. It was more just, I guess it's gameplay footage, and it showed Laura using a bow and arrow and using movement and taking out the enemies. It shows that she goes in through a lot of chaos, and she goes from just simply taking people out to falling off a cliff and landing on trees, and to landing on a plane, breaking through the glass with a parachute, and she goes through the parachute, guiding and everything, and it shows that she goes through a lot of chaos. A thing that it shows that you do have executions. You can, when you try to sneak up on a guy that's in the middle of reloading, you can actually go and grab him, shove him off a cliff that they show. You can go ahead and for the bow and arrow, it showed that you were able to do the simple headshot on the guy, and the other 2 didn't notice, so you can go ahead and sneak up on them, take them both out. And then it showed the destructed world helps, and the thing is that at the start of the clip, when I was saying that Lara Croft was with the bow and arrow, she was hiding behind objects. However, when the guys were shooting at it, the wall that she was behind was actually slowly being deteriorated because the bullets were taking that apart. Eventually, she got behind 2 water barrels, and the guy shot at the barrels. The barrels now starting to explode and break apart. That she had to move quick in order to get out of the way. And it is confirmed that the first DLC does come to the Xbox first. Now, we're not really surprised about that. A lot of games are doing that because Microsoft is now pitching in more money in order to allow that ability. Tomb Raider was pushed back to the year 2013. However, they did not mention anything about the release date at E3, so we still are a little questioning whether when in 2013 it will be, whether it is first, second, third, or fourth quarter. Resident Evil 6, that shows that you have executions, where if you walked up to one of the enemies, you can just go ahead and put the gun to them and immediately kill them. However, when you're attacked, you defend via the rotating of the joystick. So if you rotate fast enough, you're gonna head and they'll get knocked off. Another thing is that they turn into the button mashing. So if you're trying to climb up to an area, you have to rapidly press X. If you don't press it fast enough, you don't succeed. You would probably end up dying. But if you do, you're gonna get yourself pulled up, and chances are you'll have to do it again because you got another person you have to pull up. They didn't really give a whole lot of detail. It was a long demo. However, it was kind of the repetitive. It was quite repetitive. Racketeer. In my opinion, this is Microsoft's knockoff version of Angry Birds, and Angry Birds is an addicting game itself. However, Racketeer is actually Kinect available, so you will actually be basically using yourself. And what the girl said was that you step up, you grab onto a cannon, well, slingshot, I guess, and then pull back and fire, and it will shoot a single one, and you just go ahead and knock down the wall, take out who you need to, and you get points for taking out that certain wall. Then, but however, it shows that you have different types of but the balls that you shoot out that either vary between just splitting off into two or splitting off into four that are connected that you can use your hands to guide. And another one that she showed is that when you launch it, you just put your arms out, and now it turns into a flying one that you can actually guide to exactly where you want it to be. And she ended up showing that where you can actually take it from where the slingshot is all the way to a castle in the far distance and blow it up and get a lot of points for it. So that was really interesting. It's probably something worth checking out. South Park, the Stick of Truth. Now, there wasn't really a lot announced. However, Trey Parker and Matt Stone were there. They talked about how the game was and that they were pitched the idea, and they just couldn't. They knew they had to do it, and then they really thought about it. That throughout all the seasons of South Park that they did, they never actually showed how or where Kyle's house is. They show everybody else's, but they never really show where it is in South Park. So they actually had to figure that out and build the guidance so you can go from one house to the other in the right direction. Maybe we're going to see that in future South Park episodes. I'm not quite sure. There is no release date really announced for that one. Once they announced that they were pitched the idea, they went ahead and walked off stage, was showing little screenshots of the game itself, little game footage. However, it wasn't really game footage; it was more just cinematic. And so they went ahead and walked off stage. They said they were going to go back and continue working on the game. Chances are that's not what they're doing. They're probably working on more episodes. We'll find out, I guess, later on. And Black Ops 2, they did a pretty good video deal, about a 12-minute demo of it. And we already know that the release date of that is November 13th, 2012. But one of the things I really noticed was that it looks like it has the Modern Warfare 3 engine. Now, I'm not saying it is or it isn't. It feels that way, like looking at how it is. I'm not quite sure really how to describe it. It just looks that way. At first, I thought it was just going to be like drones versus humans. However, it ended up showing that there actually are enemy soldiers that you are against. Because during the demo, it showed that you were trying to protect the president while trying to snipe while he was moving down below. And there were enemy soldiers that were trying to kill him. However, if you were fast enough, you were able to do it. Now, in that same clip, I noticed, though, is that a certain scope allows you to see through walls. However, I'm not sure if it's just a scope or if it's the sniper rifle itself. That could be very interesting. Later in the demo, you can see that you can call in support with some device that's on your wrist, I guess, but it brings in like a recon drone with the machine gun. We've seen videos of that before, especially pictures, and I believe FPS Russia actually explained some of that in one of his videos. The graphics are still not great. However, it's still good. I believe it is better than Black Ops. However, I liked how Black Ops was. It brought a new kind of feel to it. It was same game as all the other ones. However, it's just the graphics felt a little different. And I actually really enjoyed it. It shows that you are able to fly a jet. However, what I noticed is that you can only just like really move left, right, forward. And I'm guessing that it's probably going to feel a lot like how you use the gunship that was in the multiplayer on the first Black Ops. And you can't really go up, down, diagonal or anything. It's just left, right, forward. And probably if you pull back, you just stall. So we're not really quite sure exactly how that looks. But Black Ops was the finishing wrap-up of the Microsoft conference. However, again, throughout this entire week, they are doing announcements as well. So today isn't the only day that you'll be hearing Microsoft deals. Chances are we're going to see more Halo 4 footage. I'm not making any promises about that. Black Ops 2, I believe they are showing more footage even today, if not already did. And so there's a lot of things that could be happening. And right now, this is just the coverage from the Microsoft conference. We're going to keep you guys updated. We got the EA conference, Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo coming on later. Sadly for those ones, they're going to be a little later because the people that are doing the rundowns actually have things that they have to do. Some are family matters, some are work. For me, at least this one was early in the morning. I was able to go ahead and get it done. But we're going to head and get those up. Tomorrow at the latest, we'll try to have them all up and ready for you guys. We're going to try to bring you the latest information of the gaming industry throughout this entire week. So be sure to stick around, like and subscribe, and we're going to bring you all the news that you need.